Yuuki brushed back his bangs and put on a defiant smile, in spite of his circumstances. I didn't expect you to be so strong, clearly surpassing my calculations, Yuuki conceded. But I've seen through your plan. You weren't going to kill us after all, were you? Ha, what makes you think that? Gie sneered. If you had planned to do that, you would have obliterated us by now. With each attack, you only ever left me on the brink of death, never finishing me off. Why? The confidence in his voice was palpable. He was being incredibly reckless. How could Yuuki talk to Gie like that after seeing his immense strength? Nobody could understand Yuuki. Nobody except for Gie, who was rather intrigued. So you noticed, but you don't need to know the answer. Gie's response made it clear that he wouldn't reveal anything else. Yuuki shrugged. He had expected this answer, so he began to calmly execute his next plan. Then I want to make a deal with you. You want to make a deal? Yeah. If you let us go, we can be of help to you. Be of help to me. Indeed. It sounds like you don't want us to join the Eastern Empire, but I hope I could sway your mind otherwise. Keep going. Since our goal is to conquer the world, we will eventually become an enemy of the Empire. I have experienced the extent of your great power just now. Knowing it, I don't want to be your enemy. Because of that, destroying the Empire first would be much easier. Yuuki's explanation was just confusing nonsense to everyone else. Footman and Tyr were lost. Laplace was confused about the current situation, too. He was prepared to die for his plan, yet his only hope, Yuuki himself, threw a wrench into the whole thing. All that was left for him was to hope that Yuuki's negotiations went well. Even so, Yuuki's rash words made Laplace sweat profusely. This is way too reckless. The reasoning is absurd, but why does it seem like Gie is enjoying this? Indeed. As Yuuki said this, strangely, Gie cracked a smile. You still intend on challenging me? That's only natural. My ambition is to conquer the world, after all. Right now, I don't seem to stand a chance against you. But one day, I'll eventually surpass you. Yuuki could barely stand because of his wounds, yet he still talked big to Gie. Thoughts like pissing off Gie would get me killed didn't even cross Yuuki's mind while he was talking. But this was Gie he was talking to, so his attitude turned out to be the right call. Had he begun to pathetically plead for his life, Gie would have immediately lost interest, a surefire way to get them all killed. Unbeknownst to him, he had played all his cards right. So you're saying that it'll be good for me if you manage to take down the Empire? The conversation had reached its turning point. Yuuki had to execute his plan cautiously. He shifted his gaze back to Gie and nodded affirmatively. Of course. I don't know the exact reason, but you don't seem to want the Empire to invade the West. Is that right? Gie must have some connection with the Emperor, Rudra. That was the key. Yuuki turned up the act. I have many enemies ahead of me to bring down, and I intend to join the Empire. However, I don't intend to be under his control. Instead, I will destroy it from within and turn it into a puppet of ours. I see. You will get help from the Empire while your goals still align, but they might not be the same afterward. You want to borrow the strength of the Empire to defeat Leon, and probably that Rimuru as well, right? Gie's sharp eyes seemed to have seen through it all as he stared at Yuuki. There was no turning back for him now. He didn't know what kind of relationship Gie had with Leon, nor what he thought of Rimuru. He couldn't even predict how Gie would react as he replied. Despite it all, Yuuki still decided to express his ambition deliberately. That's right. I want to dominate the world, and I will beat you in the end, Demon Lord Gie Crimson-san. Yuuki proclaimed with impudence. It was up to Gie to interpret this. Even if we followed Laplace's plan, I doubt a single one of us would have seen another day. Sorry guys, but please play along with my plan. Yuuki apologized to his companions in his heart. It was all or nothing for them, and Yuuki was very greedy. If he lived, he would get everyone else out alive as well. The bet was incredibly risky. However, Yuuki hit the jackpot. Are you guys seriously called the moderate clown troupe? Because you sure act like clowns. You've thrown the entire playing field into disarray, like some kind of Joker card. Your proposal is very interesting. Considering how bold you've been, I've decided to let you all go peacefully. However, don't expect me to be merciful the next time we meet. In the end, there was no telling what Gie's goal was. Whatever it was, what mattered now was that Yuuki and his companions were saved. Rain and Mizari couldn't object to Gie's decision. As soon as Gie said they could go, Yuuki and his companions fled on the spot. After Gie and his servants left, Yuuki and the other clowns hurried to the agreed-upon rendezvous point, where Kigali and the others were. Since there were no more threats, everyone thought that it was best to leave as quickly as possible. Once he saw Kigali at the rendezvous point, Laplace spoke up to Yuuki. You gotta be kidding me. Unbelievable, to do something so bold in front of that monstrous demon Lord Gie. And we somehow managed to escape safely, Tyr added. I honestly thought that we were screwed. Ho, I had confidence in Boss from the start. That's because you don't use your brain, Laplace teased Footman. Yuuki saw the exchange from the corner of his eyes and sat on the ground, exhausted. I was forced to come up with that plan on the spot, but that probably was the only way we could have gotten out of the situation alive. Thankfully, it worked in the end. I'm not taking any complaints from you guys. As opposed to the wounds he sustained in battle, his mind was far wearier. Yuuki didn't want to argue any longer at this point. He lay down spread eagle on the ground and closed his eyes. Kaguli had no clue what had happened, so Lapis and Tyr began to explain the whole story. You guys fought Gie. And you managed to come back unscathed. Kaguli couldn't contain her shock, becoming utterly baffled. Ah, it's so good to be alive. As the wind caressed Yuki's face, he let his thoughts wander. Suddenly, he remembered something. What was that mysterious voice he heard halfway through his battle? Was it my alter ego? No way, that sounds like some made-up nonsense. Actually, hold on. Even though I don't feel there's any power hidden inside me, there's one possibility that I could think of. Yuuki recalled his recently acquired power. The unique skill greed with this skill, the stronger his desire was, the more power it would grant him. During his battle with Gie, not a single one of Yuki's attacks landed. This naturally included the powerful skill greed of the Deadly Sins series. This greed sure is a mystery too, but there are always skills and magic beyond my imagination. Gie managed to bypass my anti-skill with his magic. I have to figure out how he did that. Yuuki had an incredible amount of self-confidence, yet his ego took a huge hit after being taken down by Gie so easily. He wouldn't give up that easily, though. Now that he managed to survive safe and sound, he must think of plans for the future. Yuki's greatest strength was that he could quickly refocus himself. He was once an extremely arrogant person, thinking that he had power even surpassing the demon lords. No, even if I'm not the strongest, with the right amount of research and strategizing, I can beat any opponent I face. Relying on the power he had and the assistance of Kaguli, Lapis, and the others, he managed to build a powerful faction. Everything was going smoothly. But lately, he was experiencing failure after failure. Moreover, Yuki's fight with Gie had completely destroyed his confidence. That being said, he was lucky to even be alive after that fight. Things are getting very interesting. Some extra difficulty really spices up a game. And so, Yuuki was not frustrated at his defeats. Instead, he pondered further on it. Speaking of Gie's ability, he was struggling to analyze it, even using his creator. Unique Skill Creator was very special. Not only could it create skills, but it could also analyze other people's unique skills, provided they were using them, but Yuuki believed no one could hide their abilities against him. And yet, it hadn't worked on Gie. That meant that he had some power greater than unique skills. Yuuki craved for power. He wanted stronger powers that would surpass Gie's. Deep inside his heart, the flame of his desire burned violently. In that case, perhaps my greed has the chance to evolve, too. I am greedier than anyone. If I pour my desire into it. Yuuki felt a shiver of excitement. He started thinking hard. Losing to Gie had made him realize how unfair this world was. He wanted to fight it and emerge victorious. That was Yuuki's wish. He closed his eyes and spoke to the voice inside his heart. He ventured to a place deep in his heart and continued to delve deeper until he reached the bottom of that abyss. Yuuki observed the abyss carefully. So, are you ready to take my help now? No, that's not my plan. Then what do you want? I have some business with you. Some business with me? Yes. I am going to take your power. Quit joking around. I'm not joking around. I am very serious, you know. Stop this nonsense. Sorry, but you're in my way. Ah. The next second, his wish swelled to fill his entire mind. He desired his true ambition and its fulfillment. He didn't want to be anyone's servant. His strong will turned into a weapon. Yuuki was challenging himself. Then, the voice of the world rang out. Confirmed. Conditions satisfied. Unique Skill Greed has evolved into Ultimate Skill Greedy King Mammon. Yuuki opened his eyes once more, now with a smug smirk. I'll make good use of your power, he muttered quietly enough that no one else could hear. On that day, at that moment, at that place, the foulest majin was born.